Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside Purple Raider Sit-Down here on 91.1 WRMU. We are just moments away for Week 1 of the NCAA playoffs as the Purple Raiders, they're getting set to take on the Denison Big Red. But beforehand, we've got an interview with the men up front, the offensive linemen. We've got Brendan Klaus, Tavis, Stika, and Sean Sherman. Fellas, how you doing today?
Doing good.
Good.
Well, guys, to kick it off, through the 2018 regular season, the O-line has only given up 8 sacks. That's 14th in the nation. Coming into this season, the O-line had the biggest question mark in my eyes, having only one returning starter. Sean, starting with you, how did the O-line click so well for this team?
To me, I think it was just kind of, we hang out outside of football a lot. We're all really good friends within it. Klaus he started last year, but we all played pretty well together. They've been playing together for like 3 years. This is my second year on the offensive line, and they made it pretty easy to pick up. And I think, coaching made it pretty easy, and just our communication and it's kind of like the relationship we have with each other made it real easy.
Tavis, for you.
I think Sean hit it right on the head. We're a family. I think out of any unit, the offensive line is definitely in a category of its own, and it's very much a brotherhood. If one part doesn't work, it could end up in a sack or loss of yardage or anything. We're really not. It sounds cliche. We're not noticed until something goes wrong, and I think all of us just click really well together. We're all just really friends outside of football, which makes it pretty easy to go out and on the field and perform.
Brendan.
Yeah, I think chemistry is one of the biggest things on the O-line, especially for us. All those summer workouts and all the work we put in outside, off the field and stuff like that really helps us develop as a unit, and I think that's just what made us click this year.
Now, the O-line, they've had to shift around quite a bit for you guys with the offensive linemen. Sean, you just hit on it. Just with this being your second year as offensive lineman, you were originally a defensive lineman and then moved to the O-line. Also having experience at right tackle and left tackle, kind of discuss that transition that you had to make.
Honestly, really wasn't that hard transitioning from defense to offense. I played offensive line mostly in high school, but going into sophomore year that summer, Coach Karras called me and said, "We need you on the offensive line." I said, "Coach, I'll do whatever it takes to help the team win." So I transferred over there, and it kind of just came naturally to me. And ever since then, just been working kind of left, right. Kind of need to be able to play both ways on the offensive line, in case something goes wrong, something drastic happens, you need to switch stuff up.
And Brendan, sticking with transitions, we've seen you at center, we've seen you at guard. Discuss the progression that you had to make on the field to get where you are right now.
Just trying to do my job at whatever position the coaches put me in. Same with these guys. They said it, wherever you are, you got to be versatile on the O-line, and you got to be able to do your job at wherever they put you at a high level. So just trying to, do my job.
Mm-hmm. And Tavis, you worked your way up to being the starting center this season. Discuss your progression that you had to make on the field to get where you are right now.
I think just in general, being an offensive lineman, understanding the offensive scheme helps out tremendously. It helps me know where Klaus is going or where Sean is going on any given play, so then I can narrow down the options of where I need to be and where everyone else needs to be. I think learning the game over the summer and just having that experience through practice has really helped me just understanding the scheme and just learning football as just a general topic. It's like studying anything you would for a university class.
Brendan, last season, all OAC, second team. On top of that, national championship under the belt. What did those honors mean to you to a season ago?
Shows how good the guys around me were. Definitely the all OAC thing was definitely a big reason because of the guys I was surrounded by. I was next to Cole Parrish and Matt Fitchett, both All-Americans. And I was there for all 15 games, so it was, having those guys around me really upped my game. But really the only accolade we all care about is winning that national championship. So especially as an offensive lineman, none of the awards matter unless you win the national championship. So
Exactly. Sean, a dual sport athlete with being on the track and field team, your event is shot put. You earned All-American honors, fourth in the shot put in the NCAA Indoor Championship last season, All OAC honors with second in the shot put in the OAC Indoor Championship. What do those honors mean to you? And, I mean, just being a dual sport athlete in general, I mean, that's got to be tough balancing both football and track and field.
Yeah, earning All-Americans obviously I was very honored to get that. A lot of hard work went into it. As far as it goes, just playing both sports, they make it pretty easy here. The track team, the football team work really well together to kind of make sure and give athletes that opportunity to excel at both things. So, like in the spring, my days would be go to school, go to track practice, and then go to football lifting right after. Nothing really kind of interfered with each other, and I was able to really excel at both sports, really.
And Tavis, for you a season ago, academic All OAC honors. You also saw time on the field, won a national championship along with it. What were some of your takeaways from your sophomore year that you had to make a transition to make that jump to your junior season?
I think it's just, I don't know if it was changing anything. It's just trusting in the process that what you're doing right now is going to work. We're in a tremendous place to develop yourself as a football player and as a student. Mm-hmm. That's one of the reasons I love Mount Union. And it sounds cliche, but it's just all about trusting the process, trusting the guys around you to hold you accountable for workouts, schoolwork. And I just got a lot of great support around me.
And Brendan, starting with you on this one, let's talk about the backfield for Mount Union's offense. We have seen the offense have a main running back in Josh Petroselli. Obviously, with Jawanza dealing with an ankle injury over the past few weeks, he's finally getting back into the groove of things. You guys also have to block for a dual-threat quarterback in D'Angelo Fulford. Discuss the strategy at your position to give the great protection that you do, especially along with the run blocking that you do. Is there anything that you need to be aware of with having such great talent behind you?
I think one of the biggest things that the coaches stress across the entire team is our effort. And when you have guys playing behind you like D'Angelo, Josh, Jawanza, and all those guys, and even on the offensive skill side as a whole, effort is one of the biggest things. And when you're on the offensive line, you want to play with high effort in order to keep those guys clean and make sure that they can make the plays that they, have shown they can make.
And Tavis, for you, I mean, your snap of the ball to D'Angelo Fulford, again, arguably one of the best passers there is in Division III football. There's got to be a good communication between both of you.
Oh, 100%. I'd say there's a good communication throughout the whole offense. Mm-hmm. There's times I can look at Klaus or Sean on the edge, and they see what I see, and it makes communication that much more fluent. And same with D'Angelo. We could see pressure off one of the weak sides, and all I have to do is turn around and look at him. We're good. We know what we got to do to change the protection, stick with it, or whatever. We know what we need to do to keep our skill guys from getting hit too much. And it's a seamless communication, I'd say.
And Sean, for you are protecting the edge for Fulford and getting those edge blocks for a run. Discuss your strategy with that.
For me, it's a lot of trust. I trust the guys inside. I trust Tavis. I trust my guards to do their job inside, so I can really worry about pressure coming off the edge, making calls, reading coverages in the backfield to kind of communicate down to them what blocking schemes we need to use, and let D'Angelo what I see out there, because he can't see everything. He's only one man. But I think communication is really the key component of our offense that makes it what it is.
Now, guys, this is a question I like to ask everybody that comes on. Where you come from, how you got here to University of Mount Union. Sean, for you, coming from Springsboro, how'd you make it over to Mount Union?
Always watched them on TV in the national championship. My dad was always a big fan of them. Went around to a few schools kind of around my area, going on football visits. Then, came up here, and they told me I could do both sports. The school was great. They had the major I wanted to be in. It kind of just fell right in my lap and just worked out as like the best fit for me. And I've never regretted the choice I've made.
Tavis, for you, coming from Creston, how'd you make your way over to Mount Union?
So I wasn't very recruited out of high school, and I was fortunate enough to have a head coach and a offensive line coach in high school that both played O-line here at Mount Union. It got around senior year, still nothing happening too much, and they told me to take a look at Mount Union. And needless to say, I came up on one visit and fell in love, and I knew that was where I wanted to be, needed to be, and that's really the end of that.
Brendan, you coming from Michigan? How'd you make your way down here to Mount Union?
First started out as just general recruiting. Went to all the camps, went to all the visits and all that jazz. The reason I came down here was because my former teammate Nick Brish, who also went to Brighton, basically plowed the way for me to come here. So once I got here and I, hung out with him a little bit, got to know the culture, I realized what this place was, and immediately that night I made the decision to come here. So a lot of credit for that goes to Nick Brish. And
that's very good. That's Nick Brish, and a solid player himself as well, started here. So, guys, I was told by Chris Golian, an O-Lyman alumnus, also a WRMU alumnus, that Coach Miller's wife will often make snacks for the group's film session.
Oh, yeah.
Starting with you, Brendan, for you guys, what is your favorite snack for the film session?
Okay, mine, oh, man, this is tough.
So many good choices.
I know. Oh, man. Okay, she made pepperoni rolls at one point. I forget when it was. I think it was early last season. But those pepperoni rolls are to die for. It's unreal. I know she brings a bunch of desserts normally, but those pepperoni rolls, oh my gosh, love them.
Yeah.
Tavis?
So as Klaus hinted at, she makes a lot of desserts, and I'm always a huge fan of the Oreo inside of a chocolate chip cookie she makes.
Yes.
They're ridiculously good.
Yeah. For me, she makes like a cookie dough dip. It's like a chocolate chip cookie dough dip, and like you just dip like Scooby snacks, like graham crackers into it. And I think that's my favorite.
I love it. I love the fact that you guys are getting well fed here before a game.
For sure.
Gotta keep the pounds on.
All right, guys. So first round of the NCAA playoffs, taking on the Denison Big Red. The Big Red come in with an 8-2 record, winning their conference. Sean, starting with you, what will be the keys to victory to win today?
I think, keeping that communication up, getting the run game going, kind of, being explosive like we are on offense. And, all defense always do their thing, getting stops. They'll probably score a few points. But I think for us, it's doing what we know, what we do, being confident in what we are, and, just kind of doing our thing.
Tavis, I know you're still nursing the knee injury, but keys to victory for today?
I think it's going in and treating this game like we have all season, like we're playing for a national title. Obviously, keys would be winning the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, but I think it's just a mentality that we need to stay consistent with, playing at each game like it's a national title.
Brendan, for you?
Like Tavis said, I think we need to prepare, and we have prepared this week like it's a national championship game. And for that, I just think we need to go out there, trust our coaching, and be the team that plays with more effort, and the coaches really harp on that. So, on offense, I just think we need to throw the first punch. Defense, we got to stop them, and then just continue that high effort throughout the game.
Guys, we have discussed here on Purple Raider Sit Down some of the funniest players on the team. So I'll flip that question to you guys on the O-line. Sean, starting with you, who would you say is the funniest O-lineman and why?
Oh,
Come on, it's Blaze. Come on.
I heard he gives a really good Coach VK.
Blaze, you give him a couple minutes sitting with a person, he could probably impersonate them perfectly. After a couple minutes sitting with them, he's got Blaze down, he's got Klaus down, he's got Coach Karras down. I think they even got me down too. It's kind of funny. I live with them, and it's I'm probably gonna go home after this, and we're just gonna probably sit around there, and he's just gonna start impersonating people, making jokes, and we're just gonna have a good time sitting there watching football and just laughing.
I'm assuming that's the consensus. Blaze Gray is the funniest on that.
100%.
Yeah.
No competition.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Final question. You guys have your annual Secret Hogs Day. We were getting close to that time. Brendan, starting with you, what are some of the gifts that have been the most ridiculous/funny items that you have ever seen?
So last year was my first ever Secret Hog, and I was selected to give the first gift. I gave this gift to fellow offensive lineman Trevor Ryan, and I said, "Hogs look out for each other." So I gave him some Slim Fast, and he said it was the best gift he ever received because it worked like a charm.
Wow. He still uses it.
He still uses it.
Really?
He's still losing weight, everything.
Yeah.
And it was a good gift. So
Tavis.
Hey, Klaus actually changed his life.
Wow,
I would have to say, because we have a rule that if you get an article of clothing, you have to wear it for the remainder of the Secret Hog. So my favorite was Fraser Daniels' onesie that he got, and it was towards the beginning of the evening, so we all got to witness him wear it throughout the whole. It was hilarious.
For those who are listening, please try to imagine a 320-pound man in an abominable snowman onesie.
Go look up Fraser Daniel on Twitter.
Yeah.
Big old.
All right, Sean, for you.
Oh man. Oh yeah, Tavis. Yeah, he got duct tape. Because Tavis likes to talk a lot. And
I like to add a lot. I ask a lot of questions.
Sometimes he asks too many.
Yeah, sometimes you ask too many questions. Sometimes,
So you got some duct tape
sometimes
to
I think you
put
like to hear
over
your
his
voice.
We've talked about communication on the show today,
Yes,
and
Yeah, but
I do it.
We've learned how valuable it is.
Yeah.
it's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes when we're not in football, or need some duct tape.
So the guys up front, the Hogs up front, the guys that get the job done on the offense that don't really get talked about too much, they're going to get set to take on the Denison Big Red, as that is going to be coming up next as we're going to take a short break. Keep it locked in here on 91.1 WRMU.